and welcome to the Pit Stop. I am your hostess, Manila Luzon, and oh, baby, do I have a special guest for you today. The one and only Britney Spears impersonator of the world, Miss Derrick Barry.
Oh, Derrick Barry, how were you supposed to know?
You look fantastic tonight.
Well, that's because you look like me and I look like you, so we both look good.
Is there a family resemblance, you think?
More than what we saw in that last episode.
Ooh, and we're gonna talk all about it right now. Well, Manila. Last week we watched Miss Vanjie win her second lip sync in a row, which unfortunately sent home Miss Shuga Cain. Now, it's the top 6. Now, it's getting down to the wire. What are the judges looking for?
Well, this is the time where they say they nitpick everything. So if they don't like the shoe, which I think always matters, but if they don't like the shoe with the outfit,
you're in the bottom.
It matters right now.
Yeah.
And that really shows how strong this top 6 is.
It's really getting down to the nitty-gritty. I'm really upset that Shuga was in the bottom because I thought last week she did a great job.
Yeah, me too.
But then looking back at it after I had a little time to sit on it, I'm thinking she was the weakest one in her group.
It had to be somebody.
It had to be somebody.
Yeah.
And then her runway was and it's getting close. The judges are at every little thing
Everything.
now.
And usually they love reveals, and I was really shocked to hear Michelle say you should have just kept it on. You know, imagine if they would have said that to Valentina, it would have been perfect for her. Yeah.
After the elimination, Silky feels like she's just actually getting worse.
Yeah.
The judges are starting to look past her Silky-isms, the things that they were kind of giving her a free pass from,
Right.
and now they're starting to pick up on the little details.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get her into trouble, starting to mess with her head a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think she's starting to see everyone around her, even though they've gotten those same critiques, they're honing in on Silky now. And obviously, you feel a lot of pressure under that boiling point, you know?
Especially because what she just does naturally, the judges are really eating that up until now. Where it's starting to be okay, we've gotten to know your personality, now we want you to elevate your drag.
Yeah.
And I feel like she is getting a little too comfortable.
Definitely.
She's not trying as hard. She's getting a little bit sloppy. She's skipping some steps.
Well, and they say that sometimes you're resting on pretty, and there is such thing as resting on personality, you know? And I think that's kind of what's happening now is she's starting to notice, there needs to be more,
Yeah.
you know? So let's see if she gives them more.
Let's see. So we have a mini challenge. This week it is slap out of it.
Oh.
I love it. It's some good old slapstick.
So good.
Drag queens insulting each other and slapping each other.
Yeah. It was like a reading challenge mixed with the slap challenge, which I love.
They were like, you guys are going to say something that is going to be so offensive that you are going to get slapped.
I love that. I want to be offended, and I want people to offend other people.
And you also want to get slapped.
And I will, obviously.
Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah. Which queens had the best reactions?
I think that I loved Brooke because anytime she'd get slapped, she would do a turn, and then there was like a triple pirouette or something in one of them.
Yeah.
So she just made it so dramatic. I thought Silky did really well.
You liked Silky?
Yeah, I thought Silky was funny.
I really liked Nina. I thought she had some good little reads.
Yeah.
And I also think that Nina was one of my favorite persons that slap people because it really looked like she was smacking them to the floor.
She's an amazing actress. I mean, Nina's so good, and over the top, and theater, and all of that, and that comes into play in almost every single challenge that they do.
Well, just like in the reading challenge a few weeks ago, Brooklyn Heights wins this mini challenge.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I do. I just think that her reactions are great. Yeah, I mean, I was loving Brooklyn for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brooklyn, she had the best reads, and she also had the best, when she got slapped, she really was overdramatic and falling to the floor.
So fun. The spins.
It's
just amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Moving on to the Maxi Challenge. The eliminated queens are back, and the queens have to make them over and make them part of their drag family.
You know what I love is how scared they were to see 6 eliminated girls come in. Because you never know what they're coming back for. So they scared them for a minute, and then I love that Ru said, look, they're not back to come back in the competition. They're back for a makeover challenge.
I mean, it scared me for a second because I was like, oh, bitch, could
Yeah.
Soju have skipped 10 episodes, come back at the very end, and then
Wow.
take the crown?
Yeah.
Is this possible?
Well, it didn't work for Trixie, but
No.
then she did win All Stars, so
Hey, there's always all-stars.
you never know.
The makeover challenge is really difficult because you don't know. You're putting your competition in the hands of someone else.
Yeah.
And it's really, really scary.
That's really scary. So now you're putting your style onto somebody else's face, body, everything, and not really knowing if they're gonna feel that fantasy. What if a certain girl does your makeup and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, that
Yeah.
I don't like how I look. Are you gonna be able to sell it on the runway?
Yeah.
You know, so that's another scary thing. And what if these girls don't normally make people over?
And unlike previous seasons where you're putting someone who's never been in drag before, we're seeing drag queens who we've all met, we all fall in love with, we all know what they look like. And now we're seeing it in these girls' styles. So you have to almost do a better job at their makeover than they do themselves.
Than they do themselves.
And that's gonna be hard with like plastique there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and to teach Soju how to walk in heels. I mean, her truck driver walk was worse than Nebraska's.
Oh, dang.
Well, I mean,
mean,
we saw the footage.
we saw the
I mean, there is
footage.
room for improvement. Nebraska has proved it, so we're just waiting for Soju to prove it.
Yes, we saw the fishnets and they were ripped. Do you think it's more or less challenging making over an experienced drag queen as opposed to someone that has never been in drag before?
I mean, I thought it was gonna be easier and better to make over the girls returning, but to have someone that isn't comfortable walking in heels, that's a little scary.
But I think like this would be actually easier because at least
Yeah.
the drag queens know like, oh, my nuts are gonna be
Right,
uncomfortable.
I know how to tug.
I already know like, you know, like my feet are gonna hurt.
Right.
I already know that it's gonna be hot with the wig.
Yeah, and
You
they're
know.
familiar with the runway.
It still has a level of difficulty to it
Yeah,
because
it has the potential to go wrong.
we know these queens, we already have an expectation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a preconceived notion of what they should be able to do, what
Yeah.
they've proven to do,
And what we're expecting.
and what we're expecting.
Yeah.
From them. Yeah, exactly.
As the winner of the mini challenge, Brooklyn Heights gets
Yeah.
to pick the pairings. So Brooklyn picks Plastique because,
Duh.
I mean, she thinks it's because Plastique's so pretty, it's gonna be an easy makeover. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I mean, I probably would have picked Plastique.
Really?
I just think that she has a level of geniusness when it comes to presentation. She really does. And I think that doing her makeup, I mean, she's beautiful no matter what. You could literally put a lash and a lip on Plastique and she's good to go.
I'd be afraid to pick Plastique because she's so beautiful when she does her own drag. To put her in my style of drag, I feel like that would be taking away from her beauty in a way. Because I feel like I would stay far away from
Yeah.
Plastique because, like, what if Plastique looks better than you?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to have that moment.
Yeah, you don't want to be outshined. Yeah, that's true.
So she also pairs Nina with Shuga, Evie with Scarlett, Akira Honey, Silky with Soju, and Vanjie with Ariel. Do you think Brooke chose her teams with some kind of strategy, or do you think she was pairing them up because she thought they looked the same?
I think in the beginning she did as best as she could. Once she picked Plastique, she's like, okay, let me pick and pair to benefit the other girls, because that's another thing that can hurt her later.
Yeah.
Is if the girls are like, you picked me and her to definitely throw me off, and now you should go home for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she had to kind of worry about that. I don't feel like she was being malicious at all. Once she paired 3 of them together and they looked good together, she was kind of left with,
Silky and Soju?
yeah. What did you think of that one?
I mean, at first I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's a little shade there, you know, because I know Silky isn't getting along with everybody.
Yeah.
But of the pairings, I feel like that made the most sense. Well, let's talk about Nina doing some daytime TV drama by asking Scarlett, who are you surprised is still here? And Scarlett's all like, Silky
Yeah.
and Vanjie, what they still doing here?
Yeah.
And then a little bit of a confrontation erupts in the workroom.
Yeah.
All the girls have an opinion now. What do you think about that?
I'd rather more opinions than no opinions. It's great.
Yeah.
That was so fun to watch.
Do you think this is going to affect their performances?
I definitely think when it's getting brought up during the makeup process and you're already on a time crunch, you have to make over yourself, make over your partner, and then go out and sell it. So it's definitely the worst time to talk about anything like this. It puts everyone on edge.
Or is it the best time? Because, you know, like, oh, I'm already like doing the finishing touches on my makeover, and my makeup is like cute, and I got the wigs pre-styled, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, I got nothing to lose. Yeah, I mean, it's a competition, but there's got to only be one winner.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes two. We don't really know anymore.
Okay, well, this is always my favorite part.
Yeah.
The runway times 2, because it's the makeover challenge. Family resemblance. What did you think of the runway? Who was your favorites?
Well, my favorites, definitely Brooke, because of the dress. The dresses. I love a mirror image kind of thing. It added to the symmetry of it, so it all just really worked together and choreographed. I mean, from start to finish, and then the little play on there like, bitch, don't go in front of me. This is my moment, so get behind me, because you are already eliminated. You're welcome that you're here. And then Vanjie, I thought was a really strong one. The makeup was perfect. It looked like Vanjie.
Yeah.
And then down to the hair, the dress and the pantsuit, I love that idea.
My favorites were Evie and Scarlett. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. You know when you go to the car wash, and they look like the spinning things in a car wash coming down the runway for me.
Totally.
I really liked that. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased, but I loved the Davenports. I mean, Akira and Honey looked amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a bottle of ketchup and mustard coming down the runway, just pageant style. I loved it.
And yellow and red grabs your attention.
Yeah.
Yellow and red together. So I thought that was a nice play on the color scheme.
Who didn't do it for you?
I'm gonna have to go with Silky and Soju, and it's not just the outfit. It was definitely Soju's makeup.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. Like I said, if you're not used to doing transformations on other people, but she did say that she can make anybody look good. I was hoping for like, oh my God, I'm ready to see Soju like I've never seen Soju before. And I did.
Yeah.
That happened.
We've never seen her like that
Never
before.
like that.
Yeah, I think the problem with Silky and Soju is that the chemistry wasn't there. The makeup wasn't fully there. It wasn't an exact replica necessarily, so it didn't really like hit you over the head with it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that were working against it, and it just wasn't a good week for Silky.
Yeah.
The other one that didn't do really well for me was, unfortunately, it was Nina with Shuga.
Was it maybe Shuga's wig?
It was a lot of things working against it. The 2 wigs didn't help. And the fact that having the pride flag and the trans flag is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just that visually they're just so different.
Right.
Well, the judges made a decision, and Brooklyn Heights gets her 3rd win. Do you see it the same as the judges?
I do, because it was my favorite.
I think that maybe like Vanjie did a good job.
Yeah.
As well. I guess I agree with the winner this week.
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't seem like you agree. I guess I agree.
I guess I don't know. Like, it's really hard.
It
It's
is.
so hard to pick at this point. Now that leaves Silky and Nina in the bottom, both for the first time.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
They've both done well. And so to see them both in the bottom, it was
hard.
you know?
Yeah. It sucks that Nina's in the bottom now.
Yeah.
But I can't disagree.
I also think the judges were still a little upset that Silky was the only one that didn't paint her face for Face Kini.
They're still up.
I
they're
think
still
so.
holding a grudge.
They're still mad at the fly or the roach or whatever she was.
All right, so now it's time to lip sync for your life. First time this season, Nina's in the bottom versus Silky, who's the first time in the bottom.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this lip sync?
I was really excited for this lip sync because that song has so much attitude and sass, and I really thought that Silky was gonna bring it home. There seemed to be a lot of missteps with the costume, the wig reveal, doing some choreography on the back wall, and I thought Nina did better.
At first, it came off very clunky. Nina's performance came off clunky to me. Silky, I feel like she was coming in a little bit better, but she seemed very distracted. And then my eyes started going towards Nina, who I was like, okay, she's like the clunky little engine that could. She's still chugging along, and she's finishing the lip sync pretty, cleanly. This one, well, like Baru said, was meh. Ouch.
Yeah.
I don't know how Silky did it. But RuPaul must really like her because Silky stays
Yeah.
for one more week. And unfortunately, that means that Nina has to sashay away.
She stayed on a meh. Can you imagine?
This lip sync didn't do it for me. I was underwhelmed. I want my money back. It's down to the final 5 now. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah. We've seen what they all can do, and I wonder now if some people aren't as intimidated by Silky. But who knows? I mean, now she could be like turning it around, and it can completely be a 180. Is it a 180 or a 360?
360, 180.
Whatever spin. She's
A
gonna
lot angles.
lot of turns.
Yeah.
Triple pirouette. Yeah,
Yes.
We're looking for one of those.
Yes, we're talking to you, Brooke. All right, well, that does it for this episode of The Pit Stop. I want to thank the fiercest Britney Spears impersonator in the whole goddamn world, Miss Derrick Barry. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm just trying to be as fish as you, Miss Manila.
Oh, well, you better try harder, Mary.
Oh.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, squirrel friend. When one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Go ahead. I support you.